So once that all the setup is performed, how can we now create workflows? Well, there are two different ways of doing this. You can create workflows based on an existing template, or you can create them manually from scratch. Let's have a look. So first of all, you can create them from one of the existing templates. And I already went to the templates a couple of times in the previous lessons. And here you can see a print screen. We have templates for sales, purchase, integration, and so on. So if you create a workflow from a template, you will use these existing templates, but the template itself is non-editable. Very important. If you say, for example, like, okay, that's the template that I would like to use, but I would like to modify the template here and there. You cannot do this in the template itself, but of course, you can create a new workflow based on the template and start editing that new workflow. That's something which is, of course, possible. And then you can, of course, also create workflows manually. So let's go and have a look at some examples. So here in the application, we can go to workflow templates, and I can have a look at the specific templates, for example, integration. And suppose I would like to set up a new workflow for incoming documents. So let's have a look at the incoming document workflow, what this does. So I can click here on incoming document workflow, and basically this is a very simple workflow where first of all an incoming document is created, and secondly a notification to the user will be sent. So a very simple workflow, but of course here a very good example, which user. So suppose that I would like to specify the user to which the system will send a notification. I can click here on the Assist Edit, and I can try to add the user, for example, Vincent. But if you do so, you will see here, like I just said, that you can never modify the template itself. So that's not possible. But of course, the solution is very easy here. The only thing I need to do is click here on New Workflow from Template. There you go. So a new workflow is created. And now I can start modifying the workflow. So now I can say, for example, that I would like to add a user. And for example, in this case, if I want to send notifications to Vincent, I can now very simply do this. And by enabling my workflow, I can now start using the workflow in the system. Now, besides creating workflows based on existing templates, we can also create workflows from scratch. Let's have a look. So suppose that the workflow that I want to set up doesn't exist as a template, then I can simply click here on New and start creating my own workflow without linking it to a template. So I will first give it a name. So for example, item 1. So I will call this item modifications. And the category that I would like to assign in this case is inventory, so the one that I created in one of the previous steps. Okay, so basically it's a very simple workflow, but one that is very important for my company, for example, because I want to follow up when an item record is changed. So when someone changes an item record, I want to be notified, not from the approval point of view, but simply I want to be notified about that. So do I want to be notified about anything? So each change on an item? No. So this is something that I can specify in conditions. So I only want to be notified when a specific value changes. So here I can click on Add Condition. So then I can select the field. And let's say, for example, that I would like to, let me search for reorder point, and let's take reorder point because I'm responsible for planning in the inventory, and I want to be aware if someone changes the reorder point that the planning parameters will also change in general. Okay, so then we can say, do you want to be notified when the reorder point is changed, when it is increased or decreased? I would like to be notified when it's changed, you see? So there we go. So this is my condition that I would like to use. And then there is a specific response. And in this case, the response is quite simple. I would like to have a notification. So let's see. So create a notification for user 1. Here you can see, by the way, all the responses that are possible. You can also include an approval for this. You could add a record restriction and so on. But in this case, let's keep it simple. I simply want to have a notification. And in this case, the notifications should be sent to me, so to user Platan, which is my user account. There you go. And now I will click on OK. Last step to do is enable, and now I'm ready to use my new workflow in which the system will notify me when someone changes the reorder point. Now, before that we start using the workflows, you can go to the practice of this lesson where you can create a workflow yourself.